All right, let's talk about drop two voicings. Drop two voicings are when you take a closed chord. That means all the notes are as close as they can get to each other. And you take out the second voice and drop it down an octave. Rather than and the clearest way to start practicing this is to use all the ways that you've already been practicing and just turn it all into drop two voicings. So 1 4 1 5 1s, right? But you're gonna go and then chord inversions. So up and down the diatonic major scale. And in the case of drop two seventh chords, you can also do those inversions. You can also do chord progressions, but you can do the thing you've been doing with seventh chords where you're running up and down the scale. With seven chord drop twos, you have two inner voices. So you can think about taking one of them and dropping it to the bottom, or taking the other one and dropping it to the top. And what you'll end up with is 2 fourths or fifths. If the chord's got a tritone in it, then you'll have a diminished fifth. And once we get into some other scale systems, we'll have some augmented fifths. But you should have these kind of interlocking fourths and fifths. Or if you think about something like an A major 7 as being 2 interlocked fifths, you're uninterlocking them. So you can stick within one key and do all that stuff, or you can just take one of those things and work it around the circle of fifths. Use all the practice tools that we've been working with and just drop two everything. Then you start applying it to tunes, just like we did in the last video. So you take a tune that you're happy with your harmony in it and take all those chords you're playing and turn it into drop two voicings. So let's take Happy Birthday. So I'm going to do it in A. And I haven't really shedded this or worked this out, but what I'm going to be doing is taking the top voice, the melody, and I'm going to be hearing and thinking down from that voice. Just like when you've been practicing intervals and you've been thinking bottom up and top down. That's why we do that, so that you start thinking about like, well, I can find the major third of an E chord, but what if E is the major third, right? Then it's going to be this. What if E is the fifth? Well, then it's going to be this. What if E is a flat 7? Well, then it's going to be this chord. What if E is a sharp 11? Right? So that's a whole nother topic, top-down hearing and top-down thinking, but you're getting started on that path. So if I play Happy Birthday, it might look something like this. And as you go through this process, there's so much you can do with this. So I'm just throwing out ideas. It's really time to start taking privately if you really want to make progress here, because you need someone to bounce ideas off of and stuff. But that being said, 2 things that I like to do is experiment with non-diatonic movement within these chord changes. So I just played the opening phrase diatonically. I used all notes from the A major scale and dropped 2 voicings from the A major scale. But I could go like... And as you start working with drop 2s, I hope you'll find that those kind of things can present themselves as voice leading rather than as like bottom up jazz harmony kind of thinking. So rather than thinking about like what complicated chord can I put here, I'm just thinking, well, I'm going to here and I'm coming from here, so I can approach that by a half step. Or, right? Or, I'm trying to give you some other options. Anyway, play around with it. Then the other direction you can go is to say, well, I don't like that like every single melody note harmonized kind of texture. That's like a very gospel-y thing to do. So you could say, all right, I'm just going to play like a drop 2 voicing per chord change. So like... So you can simplify it as much as you want to. There's a lot of different paths that you can take. Use all the tools that we've worked on so far and set yourself limited goals. I'm going to get this little thing taken around the circle of fifths. I'm going to work on this one song, the first 4 bars, and on this idea. I'm going to stick in this one key and do all the drop 2 7th chords in every inversion, limited ideas. So you can get where you want to go.